for this session. Yesterday, during the inaugural session, ambassadors of both our nations reaffirmed the bilateral strategic partnership, and they highlighted some of the areas where we can improve our trade and investment in terms of statistics. Logistics is, of course, at the fulcrum of this discussion, which is why we are beginning day two with a session on logistics. To begin with, I'd like to invite His Excellency Dr. Aman Puri, Consul General of India in Dubai, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to day two of the UAE-India Food Security Summit 2020. Yesterday, we had a very productive day, and among other things, we heard that the UAE-India Food Corridor project is likely to support the tripling of the current level of agricultural exports from India to the UAE from 2.2 billion to about 67 billion in about 2 years. Significant investments are likely to flow from the UAE into India in this joint project. It is also likely to benefit up to 2 million farmers and create an additional 200,000 jobs across the country. We had eminent speakers, both from the public and private sector yesterday, and today we have a very fine lineup of speakers starting from this session. We're absolutely certain that this two-day summit is likely to come up with new ideas on how to take this collaboration between India and UAE in the food sector to the next level. With these words, I would like to warmly welcome all the speakers and the delegates for this session and for today's session. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for setting the context for day two, session one. To begin with, I would like to invite Mr. Saifuddin Rupawala, CEO Lulu Group and International Board Member, Actia Group PGSC, to deliver his presentation. Mr. Saifuddin, over to you. Mr. Rupawala? Maybe he's having some trouble joining in. We could move on to the next speaker probably. I think we'll move on to the next speaker, and then Mr. Rupawala could probably join in after that. The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Subramaniam Javadi, IAS, Director of Industries and CEO, APETP, Government of Andhra Pradesh. So over to you. I understand that you'll be delivering a presentation. We will share access with you so that you can share your PPT.
Yep. Thank you very much. Good morning. His Excellency Dr. Raman Puri, the Consul General of India to Dubai, industry leaders from UAE and India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. I feel honored to be part of this event being organized by the Consul General of Dubai in collaboration with Invest India and CII. Post-COVID, this is a great event to organize because this Black Swan event of COVID-19 has disrupted the global economy and severely impacted the supply chains. Nonetheless, this has also thrown up a great opportunity for collaboration amongst countries. And today, UAE having formulated its national strategy for food security, and also India being a strong partner for ensuring that food security with Andhra Pradesh government forming a formidable part. I see a great partnership coming forward. Today, I would just briefly introduce you to the ecosystem, infrastructure, the natural competitive advantage that Andhra Pradesh has got to offer on ensuring the food security, the supply chains for UAE, and how a collaboration can actually move forward. So I'll share a brief presentation which will cover the broader aspects of this partnership. So I am Subramaniam Javadi, the Commissioner Industries, as well as the CEO of the AP Economic Development Board. Um, uh, so as in my role as a CEO of the AP Economic Development Board, we drive investments into Andhra Pradesh in various sectors, both the primary, secondary, and the tertiary sectors, and the manufacturing service sectors as well. I feel proud to present my state, Andhra Pradesh, which is the eighth largest state in the country, which has got a lot of natural abundance. What we generally speak of AP, AP just not stands for Andhra Pradesh, but also stands for abundance and prosperity. So this is a state which has got a lot of natural abundance with a long coastline. In fact, we are the second longest coastline in the country, dotted with numerous ports, airports, huge working age population. 70% of the population is in the working age group, and targeted urbanization close to 50%. So this gives a scope for investors to actually explore this naturally abundant and prosperous state, even on the food security side. I'm equally proud to present to you that Andhra Pradesh has been rated number one on the ease of doing business for the last 3 years continuously. More than any investor coming into the state of Andhra Pradesh, we would ensure that there is an actual ease of doing business in terms of starting your business, operating it with all approvals continuously. More than 50,000 applications have been processed through a single window portal. A true single window which doesn't open up many windows and says that this is a single window. A true single window with 99.16% of approval rates. Our SLA has been wonderful. That is one of the very reason why on the EODB rankings the state has been very consistent. And we also see to it that investors, the regulatory framework is also user friendly. Inspections, joint inspections, compliance inspections go through a process, and we have a well laid out structure so as to ensure that new investors also have this ease. Now, quickly moving on to what we are talking today, the food processing sector in Andhra Pradesh. This is generally called the Annapurna, which means the food bowl of the country. Because if you see the aqua, horti, poultry, agriculture, we are number one on fish, shrimp production. We are number one on tomato, banana, lime, and egg, number one on egg production. A huge, almost 8.45 million hectares of net cultivable area, which is something we are proud of. And similarly strong food processing sector in terms of having 6,000 plus food processing units spread across the length and breadth of the state. I'm also happy to share this fact that 45% of the marine exports from India actually happen from Andhra Pradesh. So that is the kind of wherewithal the state has got. And of course, the food processing infrastructure in terms of cold storages, market yards, pack houses, ripening chambers, all of this is very much available. Mithali, am I audible, or is there any issue on my audio? Mithali, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sure, thank you. So, as I told you, the food parks in Andhra Pradesh spread across the length and breadth. We have product-based food parks in terms of shrimp, fish, shrimp processing. We are one of the largest mango exporters in the country, both raw mango and processed mango. from Chittor, West Godavari. We have irradiation houses and the vapor houses as well, which can actually transport it right from the port airports into the doorstep of the countries that are importing. In my next slides, I will also try to do a matchmaking of what all products that actually UAE has a potential, and Andhra Pradesh and India have got a potential to export. I'll share it to you in a couple of minutes from here. So let me tell you a story behind how Andhra Pradesh as a state has actually achieved this prowess in terms of ensuring that we become a food bowl. Of course, the natural abundance was very well there, and at the in the same length and breadth, the agrarian reforms for improving farmer productivity and production has been happening for quite some time now. And the inputs that go into the farmers in terms of quality seeds, quality fertilizers, and quality inputs has been ensured through something called the Raitu Bharosa Kendras. So when you say Bharosa in Telugu, in our language, means giving confidence to the farmer. So through these 10,641 Raitu Bharosa Kendras, the quality inputs, certified seeds and fertilizers are being handed over to the farmers across the state, which has actually resulted in 15% reduction in the input costs. And at the same time, there is a market which is available through these RBKs for the farmers locally, and a price stabilization fund of $500 million has already been set up to ensure that the vagaries of the pricing is not affecting the farmers. Through these, almost 30% income enhancement of the farmers has been ensured in the last few years, and post-harvest losses have been contained. And we have also set up at a village level, at a constituency level, the agri testing labs. So what I want to present over here is, we just don't talk about our abundance in a natural sense, but what government is doing in terms of pushing agrarian reforms to ensure that the farmers actually benefit from the improved production and productivity, which will help the processing companies to actually deal with the farmers directly. Now, AP offers a whole lot of sectors: the horticulture, agriculture, and dairy. As I told you, we are number one. Fisheries and livestock. We tried mapping the primary, secondary, and the tertiary processing of what can be offered, right from cleaning, sorting operations to ready-to-eat meals, or preparation of ketchups, jams, tomato ketchups. So there is a whole lot of business that is possible, right? Starting from farm inputs, actual farming, processing, value addition, and logistics. In fact, I've been to Saudi last February, and to UAE also. So I have seen the kind of requirement that in all these sectors, and we would be more than happy to collaborate with UAE in any of these primary, secondary, or tertiary processing, or at the farm level as well. Now, as far as how we are connected locally and globally, as I told you, we have a long coastline. We have got six ports, operational ports and airports, and direct shipping calls to Southeast Asian and Asian economies to AP ports will save a transit time of around 2 to 3 days. So, which is a lot of business actually. Now, in terms of air connectivity, as I told you, I'm showing you where all airports are present. The Vijayawada, Vishakhapatnam, and Tirupati are international airports, and air cargo facilities starting up in Tirupati and Vishakhapatnam very soon. And Bogapuram, on the northern edge of the state, is going to be a big airport being started by GMR, and greenfield airports are coming up at 3 places. So more than 1346 flights per week to and fro from Andhra Pradesh. And of course, the port connectivity, we have almost 100 million tons of cargo being handled, and we intend to increase it up to 300 million tons by 2024 with four greenfield ports which are currently under development. And this offers a whole lot of an ecosystem for port-based industries. And in fact, government of Andhra Pradesh has thought of what could be this port-led development and ensuring food security, how exports can actually bring in prosperity for the coastal folk. So that's when we started this 8 fishing harbors again across the length of the coastline that we have, almost 972 kilometers of coastline. So what happens is we are in the process of developing 350 landing centers, benefiting almost 555 fishermen villages. What this essentially would have is there would be a sea food park with each of these food processing centers at each fishing harbor, cold storage units, fish processing units, and chilling centers, boat repairs and repair handling and repair facilities also as a part of this fishing harbor. So this is going to be an ultra modern fishing harbors right from north to south, wherein the fresh fish is available for processing and export right at the seacoast. So this improves the quality of the feed and the quality of processing both. Now, let me briefly talk about the kind of exports that happen from Andhra Pradesh. As I told you, we are about 4.5% of the exports, or more, close to about $7 billion. I'm sorry, $14 billion exports happen from the state of Andhra Pradesh, out of which 13% go in the marine products. And we are a state which is who are rich in rice, spices, cotton, but there is a whole lot of a potential for promoting the export value there. In terms, we are only about 3% of the total export value. There is a whole lot of a potential and a whole lot of an product that is available for exports to countries like UAE. And of course, the non-agri products is something which you can look at. Now, let me try to play a Uber for you in terms of matchmaking with what UAE and AP can collaborate on. If you see the crustaceans, which is there, almost 222 million USD is what UAE imports from world, and we export almost 302 million USD to various other countries, but only about 1 million USD to UAE. So now, if you see my left hand side, the first graph on the left hand side, it it offers an immense opportunity for the UAE companies to actually look at this gap between 1 and 302, wherein the crustaceans, the shrimp, the marine products is something which we can look at directly to start with, because the food parks are very much there in terms of processing these marine produce. At the same time, if you see the lower part of the graph here in paddy, about 529 million USD of paddy was imported into UAE from the world, and we export about 243 million USD of paddy. But I see there's just 2 million USD to UAE, which was exported last year, and I think there is a immense potential here too. So this is a kind of a small matchmaking which we try to do, saying that this is an opportunity for the exporters as well as for the importers in UAE in terms of actually coming together and then benefiting mutually. Now, to ensure that this happens, we have started a dedicated export facilitation cell, and we have come up with something called the One District, One Product, along with Government of India, wherein these products which are there for export are very comprehensively handled. And we are partnering with various embassies, including Dubai, for the bioseller meats. And at the level of the Honorable Chief Minister, we have a dedicated Middle East desk in the AP Export AP EDB, Economic Development Board, which I hold as a CEO, and the Honorable Chief Minister of AP is the chairman of the board, and which has specific country desks to deal with. So the Middle East desk is we are having two country leads, We are along with Invest India for Government of India. We have APEDB for Government of Andhra Pradesh, and we will be more than happy to collaborate with all of you on these B2G deals. So this is all what I got to present from my side, and thank you very much once again for giving me this opportunity, and wish the forum all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jawari. Thank you for that insightful presentation. Definitely the long coastline along with the complementary infrastructure offered in the state definitely puts it right up there when it comes to attracting investments in that sector. Thank you so much. We move on to our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce Mr. Saifuddin Rupawala, CEO, Lulu Group. Sir, over to you. If you could please come and deliver your remarks. Pleasure to have you.
So first of all, I'm sorry for the technical hitch, and I wish good morning to everyone. Excellencies, senior government representative from both government and private entity, policymaker, industry stakeholder, other distinguished guests, dignitaries, invitees, attendees, and dear friends. First of all, let me place on record my sincere thanks to His Excellency the Consul General of India for inviting me to attend this summit as a speaker. Food security has always been a very important subject, and this conference is playing a significant role to enable key stakeholders from UAE and India in both public and private sector to explore areas for further collaboration. As we all know, UAE and India shares a long-standing and very strong relationship, which is deeply rooted in history. Day by day, this age-old relationship between both the countries is growing from strength to strength. UAE is playing a key role in India's march towards becoming a 5 trillion economy. UAE has large Indian presence and the country's largest expat community, which forms a physical bridge between both the countries. Both UAE and India are the top trading partner, and economically, the country is an important area of trade for UAE. Today, both UAE and India look at each other as a reliable partner in food security. As a preferred trade hub for Indian businesses, UAE can offer several competitive edges and advantages, such as world-class logistics, transport infrastructure, as well as geographic position, enabling food exporter to expand their reach across the GCC market. Our Lulu Group, which is UAE-based company, is also one of the largest importer of tea, rice, sugar, fish, meat, fruit and vegetable, garment, among the others to name, from India. This is to feed our 196 hypermarkets spread across UAE and other GCC countries. We also consider it as a great privilege that we were one of the retailers who were selected to work very closely with the government of UAE for food security program. Our import from India are increasing every year. We are also investing in food processing facilities, logistics, warehouse hub, fruits and vegetable hubs in various cities of India. Also, as a board member of Actia Group, I wish to say that Actia is a leading Abu Dhabi-based food and beverage company and a subsidiary of ADQ, which is a sovereign entity of Abu Dhabi government. Actia provides essential and high quality and trusted food and beverages product to all its consumers. We view India as a very good market, and currently we are importing large quantity of milling wheats from India. And we are considering to import various food products in future. Let me sincerely thank Indian Consulate for playing an important role in building this bridge and cooperation between UAE and the Indian business community. This summit is also playing a great role in strengthening the collaboration of both the countries in food security sector. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rupawala. Lulu Group definitely needs no introduction whatsoever, and it is going to be an integral part of the India-UAE food corridor.
We are there to support India, and anything, any exporters or anyone, any entities, we are there. India will be there. We will be there, And we import, like today also we do import of about, in rupees, it is about 3,500 crore worth of goods from India today, as we speak,
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for those remarks. Pleasure. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next speaker, We have Mr. Achal Jain joining us from Invest Punjab. I believe he is in the consulate right now. Mr. Jain, over to you for your presentation on agri and food processing in the state of Punjab and the cooperation you foresee with the country, UAE.
Three percent of the national GDP. We're known as the food bowl of the country. We are the biggest contributor in central field of grains for wheat and rice, along with the world's highest rice yield. Along with that, we are one of the top exporters for basmati rice. Other sectors which are very good in Punjab are bicycles. We are contributing almost 75% of the total production of bicycles in the country. Textile is another very good and mature sector in the state. We are doing good in hosiery and woolen products. In tractors, which is an allied sector of agri, we are contributing more than 30% of the total national production. We show the robust ecosystem for industries in general in Punjab. Next, please. As I say, that we consider ourselves as the food hub, food processing hub of the country. A testimony to it is the food processing share in the manufacturing GDP of the state. The food processing holds 21% share in Punjab's manufacturing GDP. The national average for this is around 8.8%. As I said, we are second in wheat and rice production. In mandarin orange, we are again second in total production, and in honey, we are third highest producer in the country. Next, please. To show the progress of the food processing sector in the country, I'll tell you that we are exporting quality products to more than 140 countries around the world. More than 300 SKUs are being exported across the world. Some of the top products we are exporting is cereals, meat products, honey, bakery products, and fruits and vegetables. Some of the very upcoming sectors which are showing great potential are alcoholic beverages, organic products, coffee substitutes, and vegetable oils. Next, please. It's not just the raw material that we are producing and exporting, we are producing a variety of raw materials, and that's catering to everyone. So for infants, we have specialized products that are being produced in Punjab, such as infant food. For adolescents, we have FMCG products which are catering to the young generation of the country and the world. Is products like noodles, Kisan Jam, and many others. For adults, we have a host of products like milk powder, beverages, biscuits that are being used by everyone. And especially for senior citizens, we have products like nutraceuticals, honey being produced in Punjab. Apart from this, we are the leaders in producing of rice and wheat, and there are many established brands in the country that are producing in Punjab. Coming to the it's not just that the products are being manufactured in one cluster, but it's spread across the state. This is a map showing world leaders in food processing having their existence in Punjab. And as you can see, that the players are spread all over the Punjab. We have, being such a small state, we have three food parks in the state. One is Ladowal Food Park in Ludhiana, Kapurthala Mega Food Park, which has just been inaugurated and is now functional. And then there is other Fazilka Food Park in Fazilka. So apart from these, we also have organic production clusters. So the state government has identified 5,000 hectares of land which is being exclusively used for organic production. We have fruits and vegetable clusters where host of fruits and vegetables such as peanuts, in Abuvar, and many others are being produced. We have a meat processing cluster. This is a natural cluster which has been set up, which has come up in the Dera Basi in the Mohali region, where many established players are doing operations of and processing of these products. And then, of course, we have dairy cluster, and I'll talk more on dairy and the opportunities in the upcoming slides. So this is one of the food park that has been developed by the state government. I'll tell you the salient features of this food park, which gives a host of opportunities for investors in UAE. So first of all, the food park is already operational. Many of the established brands such as Godrej, Tyson, and many others are already operating from this food park. So if you want, you can come tomorrow and start setting up your industry here in the food park. The food park enjoys a very excellent location in Ludhiana. It is very close to the dry port and has well-connected road connectivity and rail connectivity. The ready infrastructure is already in place. Infrastructure such as EPP, roads, electricity connections, sewage connections are already in place. We have dry warehouses and silos available in the food park, which are available on a services model. You just have to pay the service charge. It's a plug and play model. We have multi-commodity chillers and cold storages already available in the food park, so you can use the facility by paying some nominal charges. The commercial testing labs which are required for any products of your quality conscious, we have a testing lab. You can use the services as well. Now I'll come to the investment opportunities that are available in Punjab. So I'll be majorly talking about three sectors, which is dairy processing, fruit and vegetable processing, and meat processing. Coming to dairy processing, this shows the graph shows the quantum of production that is happening in Punjab. We are responsible, but still we are the fifth largest state in terms of total milk production. When it comes to per capita milk production, we are the country's highest in terms of per capita milk production, and we are almost 3 times the national average. So coming to the opportunities, there's huge opportunities in cheese manufacturing subsector. As the food demand and the per capita income of the country is changing, there can be good demand for cheese and other high value add products. The cheese industry has been growing at a rate of 9% CAGR, even in the post-COVID scenario, the rapid growth in this sector. Then milk-based products. Like cheese, there can be many other milk-based products which have good potential for setting up industry in Punjab. We have a ready demand for cold chains in milk. So as per our estimates, there's already a ready demand of 4 million liters per day of cold chain in state. So anyone looking to expand his cold chain network can very well set up in Punjab. Next slide, please. The next upcoming sector and the state's focus is horticulture sector. On the left, you can see the marketable surplus that is available for various horticulture crops. Kilos, we have around 1 million metric tons of production surplus available, which is available for processing. Then guavas, tomatoes, potatoes, we have around 1.7 million metric tons of marketable surplus, which can be used for exports also. Any UAE-based company can choose Punjab and source their products, quality raw products from Punjab. Some of the investment opportunities is, as I already said, that we have exclusively earmarked 5,000 hectares of land for organic produce. So these organic produce would be available for processing or for exporting to various nations. We have ready demand for cold storages also. So we are looking at setting up of multi-commodity cold storages and potato cold storage. So as per our estimate, the ready demand for cold storages is around 1 million metric tons for potatoes and 0.2 million metric tons for multi-commodities. Then fruits and vegetable process as the surplus is available, and we can very well connect and collaborate to grow new varieties to enable fruits and vegetable processing. Next slide, please. Meat processing is another sector which has huge potential in Punjab. We are already one of the largest exporters and producers of beef. A significant amount of beef exports is happening to UAE, catering to the demand of Middle Eastern nations. Poultry, we are also, this is one of the subsectors which has huge potential and is growing very rapidly. Total meat production in the state was around 231,000 metric tons in 1819. The ecosystem that is available for meat processing is also impeccable. We have state-of-the-art breeding farms. We have good health infrastructure, good manpower availability because of domain-specific institutes such as Garwasi and many others. And we also have the location advantages, being close to the northern region, which is the demand hub. Approximately 25% of the national demand is situated in the northern region, and we have direct connectivity to it. So that's a locational advantage of establishing your unit in meat processing in Punjab. So I'll also talk a bit about the ecosystem that is available for food and agri-processing units in this state. Plug and play infrastructure, food parks I've already told. Apart from these food parks, we have good warehousing facilities. Approximately 600 plus cold storages are available in Punjab. We have 160 plus warehouses. For procurement, we have a very good and robust infrastructure for mandis and purchase centers. Logistics is one of the most important factors of production when any investor zeroes in on identifying the location. So I'll tell you, being the landlocked state, we are ranked second in ease of logistics in country. Our roads, we are 100% have 100% road connectivity, and we are second largest, highest rail density in the country. We have a very good network of inland container depots and multimodal logistics parks spread across the state. Ludhiana itself has inland container depot and a multimodal logistics park. Then we have a cargo terminal, airport cargo terminal available at Amritsar, and one team would be operational in Mohali. So we'll be having two international air cargo terminals. Apart from this, we also have two international passenger airports and four domestic airports. In terms of utility and power availability, we are one of the lowest power tariff states with variable tariff of just INR 5, which amounts to around 0.25 dirhams. We are a power surplus state, and the quality of power is very good as compared to the average state in India. We have abundant, cost-effective, and quality labor. We have a very peaceful labor and no domicile restrictions on hiring from whatsoever reason. So that's about the ecosystem. Now, I'll also talk about the incentives available to any industry that zeroes in on Punjab for setting up its unit here. We have a very good industrial business development policy, and food processing sector has been identified as a trust sector for this because this is one of the most important sector for the state. So by anchor unit, I mean any industry which is investing at least 25 million dirhams or having a minimum employment of 500 becomes an anchor unit for us. And the incentives available are best in class. So we are one of the few states which provides you a GST reimbursement on inter and intra-state sales. And the GST reimbursement can go up to 200% of your fixed capital incentives, fixed capital investments. Then we also provide employment subsidy to any anchor unit coming up in food processing sector. The employment subsidy can go up to 48,000 rupees, which is 2,400 dirhams per employee per year for 5 years. So you employ people in your industry, and we provide you the employment subsidy. Some of the other incentives available are electricity duty exemption for 15 years. We have exemption on purchase of land, CLU, and DC charges. We have exemption of stamp duty, and then market fee on procurement of raw material of agri-produce. We have reimbursement in that fee. I'll also talk a bit about the department I'm representing, which is Invest Punjab. So we are a one-stop office which handholds the investor right from identifying of the project till commissioning and ensuring that the fiscal incentives are provided. So we help you in investment identification, then investment facilitation. All the regulatory clearances are state level regulatory clearances are given from our office. All officers from various departments are sitting under one roof, which makes us a unique investment promotion and facilitation agency. Regulatory clearances are given from our office itself. And after your project is commissioned, we also handhold you in ensuring that the fiscal incentives for which you are eligible are given to you in due course of time. We ensure that the investor has need not run from pillar to post to get its regulatory clearances. to ensure that a dedicated relationship officer is assigned to every industrialist who's coming to set up its industry in Punjab. As a further step to facilitate exclusively investors from UAE, we have recently initiated a UAE desk in Invest Punjab, which exclusively facilitates investors from UAE and provides all the necessary information that is required for any investor. So this is the footprint of Punjab of various industries that are available. So we have Cargill from US, Amway, Radisson Hotel, Hyatt Hotel, CNSCO, Citibank, and many others that are already operating in Punjab. Thank you. With this, I invite everyone to at least explore and study about Punjab. And I'm always available on phone or on email ID. And you can connect us to gather any information required for identifying Punjab as a preferred investment destination. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Achal Jain. Punjab is, of course, known as the granary of India. Thank you for that presentation and dovetailing into the several subsectors that, as an investor, an interested investor from UAE, one can potentially explore. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to our next speaker. I now invite Mr. Ambut Chaturvedi, Head Nandwan Mega Food Park, Uttar Pradesh, to deliver his presentation. Over to you, Mr. Chaturvedi. We'll share access with you so that you can share your presentation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A big thank you for having me on this panel to Council General of Indian Council General of Dubai, and I'm glad to be on this panel with esteemed delegates from Lulu Group, from Andhra Pradesh government, from Punjab government. It's certainly they're one of the best states in the country, so I will try to represent my state and my mega food park project as best as I can. I represent Nandwan Mega Food Park. This is based in Uttar Pradesh, the largest and most populated state of the country. Our mega food park is located just 2 hours away from New Delhi. New Delhi is the largest market in India. It's 10% of India's GDP with a population of 20 million. So it's no surprise that when you're producing food, if you have to capture the Indian market, New Delhi is the largest market which is available to you. The state of Uttar Pradesh, which is primarily an agriculture state, is covering the entire menu of the agriculture products which can be grown on a farm. Right from fruits, vegetables to staples like wheat and rice and pulses. So in terms of having a background of raw material availability, there is no shortage of the same. We are one of the largest milk producers of the country as well. And what's important is that the entire ecosystem of the state, the anthropology, is all directed towards farming. My mega food park, which is in the city of Mathura, which is the birthplace of Lord Krishna, is also primarily an agriculture town, and our food park is surrounded by agriculture land. So whenever anyone is setting up a food processing unit in any of the food parks, you have two things in mind. First, you have to be close to the raw material, and second, you have to be close to the market. So through this mega food park, you have an opportunity for both. The site is very well connected with the new airport, which is coming up in Jewar, which is just 1 hour away from the mega food park. The airport coming up in Jewar is going to be one of the largest airports in Asia. It's being developed by Zurich Airports. We are also just 2.5 hours away from New Delhi International Airport.
Mr. Chaturvedi,
Yes.
pardon the interruption, but I think your presentation is not moving.
No. I'm going to come to it. I'm just giving an introduction.
All right. Pardon the interruption. Please carry on.
So we are close to two airports, which is Jewar, which is coming up, which is being developed by Zurich Airports, which will be ready, I think, in the next 1.5 years, and the New Delhi International Airport, which is again which is one of the largest airports in the country. We are a stone throw away, just about 45 minutes away from your very own, the Hind Terminal, ICD, Inland Container Depot in Palwal. Palwal is on NH2, which is just 45 minutes to 1 hour away from the Nandavan Mega Food Park. The Hind Terminal Multimodal Logistic Park is a joint venture collaboration between Sharaf Group and Hind Terminal of India. So the dry port is also easily available. You are strategically located to the upcoming Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, one of the largest industrial corridors in the country, the multimodal industrial corridor. So as far as connectivity is concerned, there is no problem at all. And as far as the market is concerned, like I said, you're just 2 hours away from New Delhi, and you're sitting in Uttar Pradesh with a population of 200 million, which is as big as the fifth largest country in the world. So with that, with the basic background about the state, I'll start the presentation about my mega food park. We are in collaboration, we are in touch with the Uttar Pradesh government, and we will be applying with the central government for their participation in this mega food park as well. So here's the opportunity. We're within 2,54,000 square meters, and our land parcel is fully developed and available, and it's ready for construction. As a mega food park operator, we are available to handhold any investor who would be who is willing to come and set up their factory within our mega food park, to help them get all the permissions as far as electricity, water, pollution, and clearances with the local municipality authority. This is a snapshot, a Google shot of the entire 260-acre land parcel. The mega food park is within 50 acres within this 250-acre land bank, which is surrounded by agricultural land, as you can see, which is represented by the green portion. These are the plots which we have created within the mega food park. This is the concept of a mega food park. This idea has been touched upon throughout this conference in the last 2 days, and information about this has been shared in the conference material as well. A mega food park is a supply chain solution for international companies who want to come and set up their factories within India. The supply chain solution is called because of the way the entire infrastructure has been created by the promoters, the Indian companies like us, where we will provide the companies who will be setting up their units in the mega food park with access to collection centers, primary processing collection centers, pre-cooling infrastructure, and in the central processing unit, there will be pulping units available, aseptic packing, controlled atmosphere chambers, cold stores, quality control labs, and all the infrastructure which is required for you to conduct your processing activities. The mega food park also ties up with retailing companies. In our case, we had had a collaboration with Walmart. So whatever production you do, you would be able to tap into the retail sector through these retailers and get your products across the country. So it's a complete ecosystem, so if you come into a mega food park, it's estimated that 30% of your project cost is taken care of because you come into ready-made infrastructure which is already built. These are some of the common facilities which we have planned to create for our mega food park, right from a 2,000 metric ton multi-cold chamber, dry warehouses for about 10,000 metric tons, silos for about 30,000 metric tons, grain and pulse packing line, frozen cold store, and individual quick frozen 3 metric ton per hour units. The primary processing centers, which will help with the aggregation of your raw materials, are planned in Bharatpur, Agra, and Kasganj, which are again within driving distance of about 1.5 hours from the central processing unit. The site connectivity, which I spoke about, which is, as I've explained, we're connected with 3 national highways, 2 international airports, one which is ready, one which is coming up, the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. These are the agriculture markets nearby. So you can see there is absolutely no shortage of raw material if you're working in our mega food park with various agriculture markets, namely Aligarh, Bhagpat, Bulandshahr, Etah, Faizabad, Ghaziabad, Hathras, Mainpuri. And you can see the range of products which are available. North India, UP is an area where you have abundant availability of cereals and fruits and vegetables. And our area, Mathura, is especially famous for the rice, which is for basmati rice, which is sourced by companies like India Gate, which is exported across the Middle East. There's plenty of surplus production available, which you can see over here with for rice, maize, wheat, groundnut, mustard. As far as vegetables are concerned, we have again the total production of the surplus available is there for cabbage, carrot, cauliflower, pumpkin, peas. We are one of the largest pea producers per pea clusters, green pea clusters, which is in Hathras, which is about 1.5 hours away from our mega food park. And these are the potential industries which we have done a feasibility study on, which can easily come and set up production in the mega food park. This can be a feed mill, which is based on maize, bajra, and jowar, which are again cereals. You can have a tomato juice concentrate plant because of the surplus tomato available. A potato chips plant can be set up. A testimony to this is just half an hour away, Pepsi has set up one of their largest investments in the country as far as for their potato chips manufacturing plant near our mega food park, which is a testament to the potatoes which are available and the potential of the industry. It is a $70 million project which Pepsi has set up about half an hour away from our mega food park. Where there is a potential for starch manufacturing, which can be set up. We have breakfast cereals can be explored, ready to eat snacks unit can come up. We have wheat milling, biscuit manufacturing. So these are total amount of projects which the potential which is available for companies to come collaborate with us and set up the production in the mega food park. This is the seasonal availability of crops in our identified cluster. You can see there's no problem with potatoes, tomato, peas, corn, carrot, mango, guava, garlic, wheat, maize. They are all available sufficiently throughout the year, which makes the mega food park, like I said, you're very close to the raw material. The basic enabling infrastructure, which will be available within the mega food park, just for your information again. The site is fully ready it's ready for construction. So you can come, set up your factory and start working. These are just some of the benefits which you get if you set up your unit in a mega food park. Uttar Pradesh being the #1 production for food processing. These are some of the statistics which are available to tell you about the food processing industry in the country. As I said, Uttar Pradesh is the most populated state of the country with the population growth at 20%. And the demand for your products will be unlimited. Again, the statistics for the products which are available, the mandis nearby. These are some of the projects which we are working on. We're working on a long-term cold storage project for a multinational company near our mega food park. Leading companies of the country like ITC and KRBL. ITC is the biggest producer for wheat in the country. They did one of their largest farmer procurements at our site. And KRBL is also a name which is very well known across Middle East. They are also buying rice and storing it at our facility. Some of the other projects which are planned are in mustard oil and cattle feed. We have recently signed an MOU, Vega Food Park, with IFCO Kisan. So this venture will help us to handhold any company which is coming into a mega food park which wants to source its material directly from the farmers. You would have seen in the literature which is available regarding the UAE-India Food Summit, that Government of India has passed some laws regarding contract farming and giving open access to farmers to sell their produce anywhere. With a partnership between IFCO Kisan and Nanmal Mega Food Park, we will have the full capabilities to give the support needed for companies which are setting up their processing units in the food park, for them to source material directly from the farmers. Later on, right now, after this, in the presentation, I will show you images where you can see farmers have come directly with their tractors in our mega food park and sold their produce. So this revolutionary change will allow companies from UAE to get involved right in the farms of our country with the agri-tech solution, and with them getting involved in the complete value chain. I know infrastructure, logistics is the strength of UAE, but this is a golden opportunity for them to get involved in our fields with our farmers, get the products which they want to be grown through the latest agri-tech solutions, use platforms like us for primary processing, and move their material through a Sharaf terminal right across to UAE, re-export it and take it to the world. This is an image of me with the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, a very active government, which is helping investors. There is a link called Invest UP, where large investors from across the world will be can get all the support which they need for their investment opportunities in Uttar Pradesh. This is with the Deputy Chief Minister, who is the Food Processing Minister as well. These are sites of the mega food park, the inauguration. This is the land which is available and is ready for construction. This is the layout of our site. This is the farmer engagement which I'm talking about. We are directly connected with at least 2,000 to 2,500 farmers near our mega food park site, who are readily available to grow the produce which you need for your processing plants. These are the warehouses. We have about 125,000 square feet of warehouse readily available. Just images of interaction with farmers and conducting training sessions. This is in the recent lockdown, the cereal which has arrived at the site. Because because of the pandemic, farmers could not access the agriculture markets. So that's where these mega food parks also became very useful for them, where they could sell their produce, because these food parks are located right in the agriculture fields. So this provides the farmer the comfort that and gives you the opportunity to build your relationship with them as well. These are the produce which is coming at the site. This is the management team. And thank you very much. So I hope I'm able to give you an idea about the opportunity which is available. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chaturvedi, for that detailed presentation on the infrastructure available in the state of UP, where, of course, a large market opportunity exists. And I'm sure there'll be people who would want to take advantage of what is available. Thank you so much. With that, we move on to our next speaker, Mr. Rahul Agarwal, Logistics Head at Invest India. Rahul, over to you for you to deliver your remarks.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mithali. And thank you so much for the organizers to giving me this opportunity to speak about logistics in this very interesting event on food. India is a very special position right now. The kind of growth which we have seen in last 3 decades, which is on an average between 6 and 7%, has taken us to the $3 trillion GDP mark. What is interesting in that one is that our per capita GDP is now in surplus of $2,000, and in next 5 to 6 years, it is actually going to touch the crucial $4,000 mark. Why that becomes very interesting is because that will actually put our middle class at a very high level. In fact, urbanization in urban middle class of India is expected to grow by hundreds of millions, 100 million of people, and is expected to be about over 800 million people by 2050. That in itself tells you how the entire consumption story of this country is unfolding. What is even more interesting is that a Indian born in 1960s would have spent about $20,000 in his or her lifetime, whereas an Indian born in 2000 would have spent about $250,000. And that's what is the real change. And alongside that is the aspiration change, which is actually building this country. The urge of people to grow, to accumulate wealth, is leading the youth towards a culture of entrepreneurship, which has started to show efficiencies across. And that is the reason why Indian consumer market, along with the manufacturing which is coming along with it, is going to be a game changer for the entire globe. India is trying to address that with building its logistics sector to key changes across the board. On the infrastructure front, which is very, very critical, we've been able to spend between 6 and 7% of the GDP over the last 2.5 decades. In fact, on a very crucial level, the highways, which actually is the most critical part of logistics sector, which still transport 60% of entire transportation, have been doubled in last 10 years. And we are seeing to double, to actually extend it to 200,000 kilometers in next 3 to 4 years. Even on the railways front, we have exceeded the cargo handling by 40% in last decade. And what is now really happening is actually the change which we are trying to do in the mindset of infrastructure development. 10, 20 years back, the focus was to connect the major consumption and production centers. The focus was Delhi, Mumbai, and major metros. But now, just to take the example of national highways, we are not talking about just that big metro connectivity, but trying to have a grid of highways across the country. Just to take this example of Delhi Mumbai Expressway, which we are building, a greenfield expressway, where we are spending close to $14 billion, is actually going to change the connectivity between Delhi and Mumbai. And one truck will be able to reach Mumbai from Delhi within 12 hours. And that's the big change which is coming in. On the railways front, we've come out with dedicated freight corridors. And the most crucial ones, which is Delhi and Mumbai, and Amritsar and Calcutta, is going to be operational by end of 2021. Some of the routes are already operational. Alongside that, what we are trying to change now is extend the overall, the infrastructure requirement with adding multimodal logistic parks in the country. We are in fact looking at having 35 multimodal logistic parks, which is actually a derivative of what we did on our GST, which has helped in reducing the transit time, reducing paperwork, and obviously the checkpost issues which were earlier there are no more there. It is even more interesting to know that India recognized the need for having specific logistics department to address the policy issues. And we are in fact in the process of launching an India-wide national logistic policy. And alongside that, we also have started the entire infrastructure, provided the infrastructure status to logistics and the warehousing industry, which is going to be a game changer in the way investments will turn out in this sector. In fact, over last 4 years, we have seen a huge number of private equity deals happening in this sector. The major players across the world have started to come in and have not only taken the big bets by getting into these large logistic parks, but even specified, very specialized logistics have also started gaining interest with companies. That tells you that the sector is bound to grow and bound to become even more interesting with the consumption patterns, which are how they are changing in the country. With that in mind, I'd like to invite all investors to look at the logistics sector of India as one of the most interesting sectors to invest. And Invest India team will be very happy to facilitate your investments there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Rahul, for highlighting the different areas that logistics plays into, railways, highways, multimodal logistics parks, everything that the government of India has planned to attract more investors. Thanks. With that, we move on to our next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mr. Manoj Sharma, Project Head, Avanti Mega Food Park Private Limited, Madhya Pradesh, to deliver his presentation. So we'll share access with you so that you can upload your presentation and share it if you have one.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning to all. Just just one sec, please. Sorry, just one sec.
Not a problem.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yes, Mr. Sharma, it's visible. If you want to expand the presentation, you can do that as well, with the no, no, not that. On the right hand on the right hand side, on the extreme right hand side, there is an expand.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
sorry for the delay. First of all, thanks to Consulate General and Invest India to give this opportunity to share our mega food park. Already last 2 days, a lot of things has been told about the mega food park and all. So we are from the Avanti Mega Food Park. This park is situated in Madhya Pradesh, which is known as the Central India. So I'll just share. Already about the mega food parks in India, a lot of things has been told. So this is about India. India is, everybody know this, world's second largest, highest producer of fruits and vegetables after China. But only 2% of the produce is being processed here. So there are a lot of opportunities to process various fruits and vegetables as well as. Mega Food Park, this is a scheme which has been launched by Government of India Ministry of Food Processing in 2008-9, and currently this is under its fifth phase. So the objective of the scheme is to minimize the wastage of maximum value addition, ensuring job creation and food security. Already about the model of Mega Food Park has been covered with my colleague, Nandanvan Mega Food Park. So I will not put on time of this. What are the demand drivers of food processing? So basically changing in demographics, 65% of population in India is in mid 40s. So food consumption pattern is also increasing. Growing nuclear families and working women, therefore rising demands is there. Now I come to Avanti Mega Food Park. This is the Google location. So we are centrally located, as I told, in Madhya Pradesh. So the Madhya Pradesh is a central part of the India, and the beauty of the location is that we can cover overnight journey. We can cover almost 60 to 70% of the Indian market. As well as same time, we can also have the port facilities like Kandla Port and JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port. It's overnight distance from our mega food park. This is our project detail. The food park is project area is 51.2 acre. It's private owned land, and it's within the municipal corporation limits of the Dewas city. Project has been commissioned in December 2019. It's a key strategic and advantage of Avanti Mega Food Park. As I mentioned that we are centrally located, so the city is just 9 kilometers and Port Kandla, Mumbai is 600 kilometers. The container yard Pithampur ICD is 60 kilometers, Ratlam is 150 and Mandidip is 170 kilometers. Abundance of agriculture produce. We are representing Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is known for its agriculture produce. Madhya Pradesh is #1 state of India which is having continuously 20% growth in agriculture since last consecutive 4 years. Madhya Pradesh is ranked, if you see, the #1 in soybean, gram, guava, garlic, and pulses. The wheat, which is known as sharbati, which is almost very well accepted by national as well as international market. Sharbati wheat is known for its good quality of chapati. And we are proud to share that we are already exporting our atta from Madhya Pradesh, this mega food park we are manufacturing. We are doing it for ITC, Ashirwad, and it is being exported to Middle East as well. So if you take a packet from a shelf from any supermarket from Dubai or Middle East, you will find it's from our mega food park manufactured on our food. Then in second, we have the onion, peas, coriander, citrus. Rank third is the wheat, jowar, tuar, tomato, custard apple. And we are ranked 4 in cauliflower, potato, papaya. The potato on Madhya Pradesh is basically low sugar potato. So companies like Pepsi, ISKCON, Balaji, all are preferring to have their manufacturing unit in Madhya Pradesh because of this low sugar potato. As I mentioned that Madhya Pradesh is #1 in oilseeds. Soybean is one of the main crop of the Madhya Pradesh. Almost 65 to 70% of the soybean is being cultivated and processed in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have the pulses, largest, this dollar chana, what you call the Kabuli chana, it's grown in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have gram, basins, and all the garlic is one of the major crop in Madhya Pradesh, which is being highly exported to Middle East as well. We have second largest is the maize, green peas, and wheat. These are the third largest things: chilies, onion. Production cluster of Avanti Mega Food Park, which is 150 kilometers. So we have almost wheat, soybean, gram, maize. So all of grain-based industries can be planted in this mega food park. So we have the facilities available to process of these basically grains. Then in vegetables, we have the potato, tomato, onion, garlic. Plenty of surplus quantity is available in our mega food park. Then we have in fruits, we have orange, guava, banana, which is plenty available in our food park site. This is the bird eye view of our food park. It is basically adjacent to a railway station, railway line. So logistically, it is very convenient. We can have the railway siding facility, and just 1.5 kilometer is the national highway, which is Agra-Mumbai highway. So road as well as rail, both connectivities are very appropriate for this mega food park. Directly from the food park, container loading and shifting can be done. These are some core infrastructures which is readily available and in function in the mega food park. Likewise, we have the first food irradiation plant of any mega food park in India. So by this food irradiation plant, we can irradiate many products like dehydrated onion, onion powder, then garlic, as well as so that can be exported. Then we have the facility to irradiate mango, so that already being taken care. Then we have the multi-cold storage, grain processing section is there, grain storage. All the sections are in function. So, and other than core infrastructure, we have basic infrastructure available like power station, raw water, state-of-the-art quality control microbiology lab, administrative block, farmer assistance center. After implementing of this new APMC, so we have already planned to set up one private mandi in our mega food park. So this is some of the pics of the mega food park. This is our administration and R&D building. Then we have, like I mentioned, that this is the irradiation plant, first plant of the Madhya Pradesh, which are recently we did for onion. We did it for NAFED. So we had almost 500 metric ton onion on trial package irradiated and kept in our store. This season we are looking to have more capacity, like something like 5,000 ton or above that for onion. This is our vegetable dehydration section, in which we have the facility to dehydrated surplus any crop, like if it is vegetable, then we can have it cabbage, then beans, carrot, potato, then garlic, onion, all if it is available, then we can have the dehydration plant. And in our cluster, it is plenty available. So there is no any shortage of these things. This is our grain division. So in which we are having different capacities of grain storage silos. So we can store various grains like wheat, soybean, gram, Kabuli chana. So these all can be stored. Then we have the cleaning, grading, sorting section. We can clean, grade, sort, pack, and from the adjacent railway station, the same can be sent to port like JNPT or Kandla. From there, Dubai is already we have started exporting to this. This is our grain processing section. So this is all is cleaning, grading, sorting, and packaging unit. This is our wheat processing section in which we are manufacturing the chakki atta, and already we are exporting it to Dubai and other countries, including US and Australia as well as. This is the lab which we are having, the centrally lab. So any investors, those are looking to invest in the any processing facility, they just have to invest only their unit. They don't need to invest in the core infrastructure which is required like lab, beverage, and cold storage silos. So it is already built there. Then we have the microbiological lab also, which is very much required for the export purpose to properly check the quality of the produce. So it is already there. We have the very much state-of-the-art infrastructure in the PLC-based. It's a wheat flour unit in which we are using the organic wheat as well as the sharbati wheat to make the atta, and that the same is being exported to many of the countries. This is our grain packing and section in which we are having the pulses, cleaning, grading, sorting, processing, and packaging. So this section is lot of this is the cold storage where we are having the various commodities stored, including fruits and vegetables and grains. So any investors can take the opportunity to store the material there, and whenever they want to export it, they can export it. If they want to process and sell it India, then even that also can be done. This is the MSME shade, which is the ready to shift manufacturing shades available. So if any for a small, medium or small micro enterprises, they can come and set up their processing units. Already we have 2-3 FPOs, those are working here. FPO is like a farmer producer organization. So they are almost 5,000 farmers group. They are having the organic material, and the organic material is being stored in the cold storage, and we are getting it processed and packed and then selling it to a domestic market, as well as they are also now looking for the exports. These are various products which are being already started manufacturing in our mega food park. Like I said, the wheat waste products or pulses, grain, fruits and vegetables. The park was inaugurated on 5th December 2019 by Honorable Cabinet Minister, Union Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal, madam. This is our professionally qualified team we have in the mega food park. So advantage Avanti. Why Avanti? The reason, as I mentioned, that abundance of raw material is available in Madhya Pradesh. A strategic location advantage. So 50% of the Indian market is just overnight. And other than the same time, we are just overnight away from the port. So it's a hardly matter of time that the material can be shipped to the Middle East or UAE. Already the chain like, Choitram, they are from the Indore, Madhya Pradesh only. So a lot of exporters, they are working from nearby area of this Indore and our mega food park. We have the best in class core infrastructures, which I already shared with you. Availability of best quality of wheat, soybean, potato, garlic, onion, it is there. So project is available from the Ministry of Food Processing Capital Subsidy, and there are a lot of incentive exemptions from state government as well. So it's a win-win situation for the investors to come and set up their units in this mega food park. Way forward is we are very much open to explore opportunity in food processing units. If someone is interested from UAE to set up their unit in this mega food park, either 100% venture or in fact we are also looking to have some JVs as well to just support them or handhold in any kind of way. And we are also very much open to UAE for their food security to source the finished goods, which is one of the best quality product available right now, right away from our mega food park. So we can start that as well as. So we are ready to move for MOU agreement signing of the proposal. Then accordingly we can plan and execute our this thing. Thanks a lot. This is my personal signature, so we can just be in contact. So once again, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Consul General and Invest India to provide this opportunity to share our mega food park. We look forward to have any opportunities in this particular field. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. That was a fairly comprehensive picture of both the raw material availability as well as the infrastructure available in your mega food park. And I'm sure you will be flooded with queries very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next speaker. I'd like to introduce Mr. Anand Kalaskar, CEO, Hind Terminals. So over to you. If you have a presentation, we will share access so that you can share your screen.
Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, can you see that?
Yes, Mr. Kalaskar, please go ahead.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much for Invest India to giving me this opportunity to speak with you today. I'm representing Sharaf Group. Unfortunately, Mr. Salah Sharaf could not come today. So I am the representative of Sharaf Group. I'm CEO presently of Hind Terminals, which is a Sharaf Group company in India. Mr. Ambut Chaturvedi did speak about it at length during his presentation as well about our facility in Palwal. Sharaf Group has got very strong relation with India, and it started its first investment in way back in 1996. The other advantage of speaking late in this presentations is that a lot of points which I wish to raise have also been covered. So I think I will be able to progress very crisply. Thank you. Right. So first about the UAE-India relationship. As you know, the key figures are that the India-UAE trade value was 180 million in 70s, and today it is over $60 billion. And UAE's investment in India is estimated to be around 14 billion. It is the 10th biggest FDI investment in India. What is food security that Sharaf Group looks at? First, to build infrastructure in India, to create strategic reserves of food supplies, crucially at the right time, at the right price, and at the right place. Secondly, Sharaf Group expects that in UAE, there is assurance of uninterrupted food supply during emergencies and crisis management, as well as during extreme weather and climate conditions. As per the definition of food security would be availability, reliable, consistent source of quality food. B, sufficient resources to produce or procure the food, that is access and logistics. Logistics continues. Access of food must be stable and sustained over time. This is very crucial that there is continuous stability and sustained availability of food. Next, nutrition. Knowledge to prepare and distribute food to have good nutrition. And lastly, reduction in waste. During the production, storage, transportation, and consumption, waste should be minimized. As we are aware that India is one of the largest producers as well as consumers of fruit products, and food sector is paramount role in the development of Indian economy. Government focus on improving food processing and infrastructure and logistics facility. Unfortunately, 30% of the food in India goes waste due to lack of infrastructure. UAE can help change this. Next, food wastage in India is valued at a staggering 12.5 billion. So the planned infrastructure and enhancements done in India will reduce the time and cost associated with food transportation to UAE destination. So our credo is lesser food wastage is the issue, is the important aspect to food security. What is the immediate need? Immediate need is to create infrastructure, logistics facilities, bringing activities of food storage, preservation, processing, packaging, certification, research and agro-knowledge institute, etc. So some of these earlier presenters have spoken at length about this. So our requirement in UAE dovetails the requirements or the ideas that have been discussed earlier. Right. So what are the key requirements? A, logistics infrastructure to ensure food wastage is minimized to zero. Facilities for food preservation, that is cold storage, food processing and packaging units. Next, logistics to transfer these consumption to consumption market. Now, these have been clubbed in the diagram next to that as various major activities which are there. Next, we come to key fundamentals would be India will be the producer and UAE will be the consumer. What UAE expects is seamless, uninterrupted flow of commodities between India and UAE, governed by a law or by a statute with fully assured continuous supply. That means what we need is a sovereign guarantee for assured continuous supply. Next, to ensure seamless, uninterrupted flow of commodities, either Indian authorities or government guarantee UAE for continuous supply of food items. Second, UAE investors can then take initiatives in controlling food production, food processing, logistics, marketing in India by investments. The involving investments in following sectors. First, land. Next, agro inputs, agro processing, logistics from farm to storage, storage to further processing, processing centers to exit ports by air, sea from ports to UAE destinations. Next is the contract stroke non-contract farming and spot basis farming. Under both these situations, UAE has certain options. The first one, to source inputs from India or overseas and supply. Second, to allow farmers to source inputs on their own. And to provide an integrated solution linking the entire logistics supply chain of food production, harvesting, packaging, storage, transportation, consumption, and reducing food wastage and loss of value chain in the consumption process. So the chain is very simple: production, handling and storage, processing and packaging, distribution, and consumption. Next, we come to Sharaf Group in supply chain solution for food security. We come in as a solution provider in creating logistics and infrastructure and mechanism for transport and delivery. And we have already mapped the whole chain in supply chain for efficient and effective flow with minimum wastage. We have invested in creating logistics parks with following facilities: logistics infrastructure services, warehousing and storage, including cold storage and perishables, ship services for imports and exports at gateway ports, rail transportation, road transportation, air freight cargo services from India airports to UAE destinations. Our aim is facilitate food processing closer to logistics facilities to reduce cost and time, along with railroad transportation of dry and perishable goods. We have realized that the processing should be within 50 to 100 kilometers of where the produce takes place. Then only there is saving in both logistics cost as well as reduction in wastage. The Sharaf Group logistics infrastructure network is given in the next India map. As you can see, we are represented along the coast and more so on the western and the northern sector. If you look at the western sector, we are represented in Maharashtra and Gujarat, including which have the main gateway ports of Mundra, Nhava Sheva, and Pipavav, and now Hazira. We have strong presence in northern India, which is in Ludhiana, Punjab, Haryana, NCR, other locations. In the east, we are represented in West Bengal and Orissa. And in south, we are in Chennai and Tuticorin. So you can see that with this map, we provide ample opportunity for the food security aspects that I was mentioning about. These are the present status. Sharaf Group intends to invest furthermore and expand their footprint into India. Okay, so thus we come to it. Investment. Sharaf Group has invested in excess of USD 300 million in India. And we expect in the next few years to invest from 250 million to 1 billion USD in India. Another high point of Sharaf investment in India is that all profits generated in India are redeployed in India to expand the footprint. So the entire investment plan of Sharaf Group is actually to create a very robust infrastructure in India. Linked to the Sharaf investment is, of course, employment generation, which looks at currently we employ 4,000 plus human capital in India. And with our expansion plan, we expect to increase the employment generation by more than 10,000. Moving back offices, the second aspect is we have a lot of offices in the Gulf. Our other aim is to move back offices of Gulf and Africa to India, which will create further employment opportunities in India. And we want to partner India in its GDP growth. What are the future plans? Establishment pan-India network to handle distribution. I've already highlighted the footprint which is currently there of Sharaf Group in India. We intend to expand on it. Then we want to connect manufacturers and processors of perishable and non-perishable with consumption markets in UAE. Then perishable and cold chain, processing and value addition during storage and transport save and increase the shelf life. Receiving, delivering and processing perishable goods in cold storage in this, and creating pan-India logistics centers for perishable and dye products, boosting agro and industrial production. Some of these aspects have been spoken about by our previous presenters, and I feel that Sharaf Group's aims in India are highly dovetailable and matching with what Sharaf Group intends doing in India. Lastly, we are looking at one world and wider distribution of wealth, wider economy, larger the GDP, and better ability to fight such pandemic. Sharaf Group has great faith and has consistently shown immense ability to invest in India and trust the Indian infrastructure. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. It is widely acknowledged that Hind Terminals Sharaf Group has a huge role to play when it comes to India-UAE food corridor, especially in terms of logistics. And I, on behalf of Invest India, just want to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be one of your partners in grounding your investments in India.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, indeed.
With that, we move on to our next speaker. I'd like to welcome Mr. Raveen Guliani from DP World, Dubai, who is joining us from the Consulate of India in Dubai. Sir, in case you have a presentation, we'll share access so that you can project it on your screen. Thank you.
Mr. Good morning. I hope I'm audible. First and foremost, our gratitude and our sincere thank you to His Excellency Dr. Anand Puri.
Mr. Guliani, you're not very audible.
Am I audible now?
The voice is slightly muffled.
Okay. What about now?
It's slightly better. Please go ahead.
Okay. I was just expressing my thanks to the Consulate, the Consul General of India, CII, and Invest India for setting up this event. The chief security between the corridor. I'm going to present an opportunity that is going to go beyond the UAE. I'm also going to talk about how DP works and add value on the logistics front from India to the UAE, presence in India, capabilities, and obviously.
Mr. Guliani, sorry, we can't hear you very clearly. I'm sorry.
Okay. Sorry, give us a second.
Sure.
You're very audible in the consulate. I'm not sure what's going on. Can I speak louder? Am I audible when I'm loud?
I think we'll have to turn it up slightly more for us to be able to hear you.
Okay, uh, I will speak louder. Uh, can we move on to the next slide? So the opportunity for India is not only the UAE. What the pandemic has made us realize is that food security in the Middle East is paramount. We're sitting on a market within the Middle East that is growing at more than 10% CAGR, as per the forecast, right? It's a food dependent region. Uh, we can use the UAE. India has this opportunity to serve and be the breadbasket for the full Middle East region. You've got a very high uh, consuming population base of 400 odd million people with per capita incomes of more than $40,000 approximately, giving the industry in India, giving the farmers in India an unprecedented opportunity to reach out and sell their goods. We are all aware, all the panelists that have come in prior to me have spoken about a number of different opportunities in food parks and food processing capabilities that have been set up in India. We've all been aware for a number of years about the wastage of agriculture and horticulture. Estimates of between 30 to 40% of the food grown in India is wasted. Let's turn this around. Let's make this opportunity and let's see how India can grow further and how we as DP World can support you on the leadership side. Next slide, please. So what is DP World? Who are we? I'm sure most of you have heard about us, but for those who haven't, we're a global trade enabler. We actually operate 71 terminals, marine terminals around the world. We operate parks and zones and industrial clusters in various parts of the world as well. And we operate shipping and logistics services. Now, if I focus in on UAE in India, which is what the focus of today is today, within UAE, and I'll get into the UAE portfolio in a little bit, that we operate the port of Jebel. We operate two more ports in Dubai, but not relevant to the context today. We own and operate the free zone in Dubai, the first and the foremost that was set up in the UAE, the Jebel free zone. And we've got a domestic industrial cluster by the name of National Feedstock. Uh, on the Indian side is more interesting. We have 6 marine terminals along the coast of India. Uh, we have 2 free trade warehousing zones under development in India. We have a number of logistics capabilities. We are debatably one of India's largest warehousing operators. We have cold and cold chain capabilities to service not only the domestic market in India, but also and primarily the Asian market. We operate our own rail and rail. And between India and UAE, we have shipping services. We own and operate feeding companies as well as non-vessel operating container carriers. So you can imagine the context of our investments. We actually sit and we have a joint venture with the National India Infrastructure Fund. And this is where most of the investments into India are being routed to. What Chairman His Excellency Sultan Ahmed bin Suleiman is a very big proponent of the fact that India, the government's vision, the Prime Minister's vision is an opportunity unprecedented for us to grow our exports. And we are there to contribute and to facilitate the growth of Indian exports. So zeroing in on our capabilities in India, a little illustration on the slide and what is it that we can do, how can we do it. So from the first mile to the last mile, um, I don't think I'm going to go through the details on this, that the presentation will be shared later on. We have the capability on the ground to actually pick up goods at the time. We can bring it to our container freight stations and then pack there. To move these goods into the terminals and ports that we operate in India, we've got one in Karachi, one in Kochi, Chennai, items we are all over the place. To move these goods on our vessels, on our containers into the UAE, then potentially into the value add zone in Gaza or into the domestic market. into the Arabian Gulf, and then we exported from the UAE into the next slide, please. So a little more on connectivity. Two aspects for this. There is a Dubai connectivity aspect, and then there is a Dubai World flexible aspect in this as well. Between the UAE and India, between Dubai and India and Belgium, we've got 15 weekly services operating between our terminals. And from Dubai, you can connect with 150 direct ports of call around the world with 80 services. Unprecedented. You can move cargo east, you can move cargo south, you can move cargo west. Very sizable connectivity. Let's complement this by the multimodal platform available to Dubai, the land connectivity into the Arabian Gulf and into Levant. Yes, we are moving goods into, the Levant by truck as well. You can move goods into Israel today by truck. It is ongoing, right, at least to the border with Palestine. And then you've got air connectivity thanks to Dubai Airports and MSA line, which can reach out, particularly for perishable goods, to more than 200 different locations around the world. Right? We've got a fantastic sea air product, debatably, arguably the only place on the planet where we've got a bonded corridor between Jibrali Port and the new Al Maktoum International Airport, where you can move goods between sea to air without, let's say within 45 minutes of discharge from the sea to the air tarmac, right? Now we bring in obviously the UAE and DP World's capability on the trade business. So the global map that you see and the dots on it is where DP World has a physical presence. So it's complementing Dubai's network and connectivity. We, as DP World, are building what we call trade bridges, where we are trying to connect Dubai to India is already on the map. We've already connected it, but we are in the process now to connect Dubai to our assets into Africa, into Europe, and in America, offering you, as we call them, trade bridges and network connectivity, seamless, complemented by supply chain and logistics. So, next slide, please. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on, next slide, please, on Jibrali and the capabilities we have there on the food side, right? So I bring this up particularly to the agri and the food industry and the industrialists in India and everyone listening in, right? We are a polyfunctional port. We are debatably and arguably again one of the largest ports outside of Asia. We handle any and all types of cargo. It's a skill and a capability which does not come through in many different locations around the world. So we have the we have the capability to actually bring in cargo on the bulk side. So you can actually bring in grain, you can actually bring in sugar or rice in bulk. You can process it and containerize it in Jiblali, and then from here you can move it to destination markets. Right. Some examples I would like to highlight, and these examples have played a very critical role in food security within the UAE. We obviously are very thankful to the foresight of the UAE businessmen who have ventured into these facilities in Dubai and in Jiblali over the last few decades. Right? Sugar. You will all know that there is no sugar grown in the UAE and in Dubai. But we in Jiblali sit on the world's third largest single site refinery, uh, where we import anywhere between 1.5 million to 3 million metric tons of sugar, raw sugar a year, which is processed and refined, and from here it is exported into destination markets, right? There have been times where India is a source market, and there have been times when India is a destination market, depending on the needs, depending on the monsoon, and what happens either in India or other parts of the world, right? It's the same story on the veg oil processing capabilities. Again, we've got seaside facilities where we bring in seeds, they are crushed, and then you have vegetable oil being serviced both in the domestic market and international markets. In addition to this,
The waste is also exported as animal feed to a number of destination markets around the world. So very successful business model. We see this on the grains, we've seen this on the pulses. Uh, on our zone side, we've got capabilities of existing capabilities where hydroponic farming is done, where mushrooms are grown, and there's increasing interest coming in for setting up aquaculture. We actually also have the first fish farm that was set up uh, in the UAE and the Middle East, sitting in on our quays in Dubai in the terminal in Giglali. And some of the locally grown divas available in the restaurants in Dubai and the region are actually coming through from our fish farm here in Giglali. Next slide, please. But this is not it. In Dubai, obviously, in addition to the port, we also operate the free zone. It's important to highlight some of the capabilities on the free zone side. Now, as a free zone operator, I do not want to get into a sales pitch, but we've got 60 square kilometers of land, and food and agri is obviously one of our biggest clusters. We've got millions of square meters of facilities that have been built for food and agri processing. Uh, I spoke about sugar. I would like to highlight tea. Uh, we've got one of the world's largest tea processing plants based in our zone. Again, raw tea comes in from a number of different countries, Kenya, Sri Lanka, India. Tea is processed, uh, and then blended and packaged and distributed to more than 70 to 80 countries from Dubai, right? And we don't have one of these. There are multiple brands on the tea side. If you've had Lipton tea, yellow label, it's probably uh, blended and packaged in Dubai, in the zone in Jazza. These are our locals. For the SME trader, we have a Dubai Tea Trading Center, which is set up by our sister concern DMCC in Jazza. That's where the physical location is, which gives the SME the opportunity to use it. Similar to the tea, we've got coffee processing and coffee roasting facilities. We've got a number of canning and processing facilities, chocolate processing, uh, even bakeries and associated infrastructure around it. Some of the brands that are existing and present out there are mentioned on the slide, just to give you a little holistic insight into what is happening out there. And yes, Indian brands are very sizable in Goodland. Uh, we are, though, next slide, please, very much geared to grow. What you see is a representative image of Terminal 1 at Jaglali, which today happens to be a container terminal, and we have plans to convert this over the coming years uh, into a food and agri terminal. So Terminal 1, the container operations are being relocated to Container Terminal 4 as we speak. This would make available uh, more than 3 kilometers of quay rebuilt with a draft of 14 to 16 meters and a land mass of more than 2 million square meters. This is purpose-built infrastructure available for the industry to come up and set up whatever they would like to, right? On the agri and the food processing side, you can yourself put this into context on what will, how will the shape and the size of the food security initiative change with this capability being made available in the market, right? So be it grains, you want to put quayside storages where you can bring in crate size or bulk size vessels uh, to discharge grains and then package them, process them, and use it in domestic markets and the Gulf markets. The same can be done with rice. The same can be done with bottled water. Uh, we can do it for milk processing, pulses, additional veg oil capabilities. Uh, and, yes, the sky's the limit. The ideas can come forth in your end and what would you like to explore out here, right? We're happy to have a discussion. This is not The base infrastructure is ready. We don't have to build a quay. We don't have to build a port. It's being repurposed, and it is available out there should you want to have a dialogue on this. Right? So to conclude my presentation, can you move to the next slide, please? On the India-UAE food corridor, right? If you look at what is it that DP World can do, we've got ports and terminals on both sides of the continent. We've got industrial and logistics capabilities and zones on both sides of the continent, right? For the Indian exporter, we can provide a one-stop solution. Uh, we can provide a platform where we've got plug-and-play capabilities on a plug-and-play ecosystem for setting up trade flows, where we can basically pick up cargo from the farm or the factory and get it to the consumer or the destination market in the UAE or beyond. We can enhance that with DB World's global presence in 40 countries around the world. And on the industrial side, we can provide you purpose-built, ready-built infrastructure to set up processing facilities or distribution centers or warehousing capabilities as you would like to. What's also more important is that at least in Dubai, we're also the regulator, so and the authority. So if you want to set up a legal entity, then we are able to do so in our free zone and blackness. On that note, next slide, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish everyone a successful future career.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gulani. I think DP World's prowess in the ports infrastructure segment is well known, but it was very interesting to learn about the F&B capabilities as well as the role that you have envisioned to be a trade enabler between the India-UAE food corridor. Thank you. With that, we move on to our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to invite Mr. Anwar Sheikh, Managing Director, GESS International FCC LLC. May I request you to deliver your remarks, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mitali. So, good morning, UAE, and good afternoon, India. Just I'm going to spell Mr. Anand of Sharab Group is already explained a lot of things about the various aspects of the empowerment and the food security and perishable food and all these things. And we have listened most of the thing about the food park, various state in India. So our company basically putting more efforts on the modernization and the putting the technological efforts toward this in direction. Whether the food parks are actually a very good idea, and government of India is putting a lot of efforts to most of the food parks is already operational, and some of the food parks is already in place of starting working. During this food park, basically the cost of food park is more than 100 crores, and this is not affordable for the small farmers or the farmers which are actually not in touch or what not in near to the food parks. So basically, when you talk about the food security and the logistic, we can understand there are the 5 aspects is already there in order to intact operation of the complete taking care of the food processing commodities. So starting from the harvesting, and second is the transport, third is the consumer, and the fourth is the cold storage and storing it through the transportations, and the last is the at the retail price. So in this five aspect of the farm gate, we can understand that basically our company is working on the how we can make the sustainable solution for the farmers which are not in availability of the food parks, or the they have the commodities wastage or food wastage is there. Possibly we have seen in the MP or in Andhra Pradesh or in Punjab, there are a lot of food parks is already there, which is highly modernized. But in the part of India is a very vast and big country where there is a lot of area still is not addressed by the food park. So our company is basically addressing how to we can make the integrated supply chain by making the pack house integrated modern pack house with the various capacities of the cold storage, as well as the pre-cooling unit, cold storage as a second stage, then mobile van from transporting of the one commodity from the harvesting to the second stage, and from second stage to basically storage and storage to consumer. So these are the various stages actually we know for that. but we especially targeting that how we can take care for the farmers which are not accessible to the food parks. So generally, we have seen a lot of things that the main commodity everybody talk about the agro industry, food processing industry, horticulture industry, ice cream, milk, dairy, logistic, and all. So in this industry, this is common. Food park is already we understood a lot of things, but when we talk about the logistic and the scenario after the COVID, we need to understand we have to emphasis on the new technologies and modern technologies to avoid and taking care of the perishable foods. And rightly, Mr. Anand told that how we can invest in these technologies across the India and across the UAE and other part of the world to make it more reliable and make it more sustainable. We are also working on the net zero cold room and net zero sustainable technologies. If you see the cold chain management system, we have a lot of scopes to improve, key technologies like food tracking, the leveraging of the various technological applications, like we can track the food from the right from fresh, and it will be from farm to table. Then we can have the real-time data management system where we can have retailer and supplier can ensure the quality of the fresh food in the unbroken temperature control. So it is very necessary that right from harvest to the end user, the food must be very fresh and as it is when it is harvested. So it is necessary to real-time monitor the data. And nowadays there's a cloud platform is available where we can have this catering with the demand of the real-time needs, and we can understand the real-time processing and how the things are processed through by using the cloud and IT infrastructure. And in the recent modern trend, you can understand the blockchain meets for the cold chain is also taking place in various parts of the world. That technology can be also we can incorporate in order to sustain the food quality. The blockchain aids are creating the more transparent and leading the retailers and finding the innovative way to transform the data into the marketing as well as the messaging to the faster, more loyal customer. So you know that now people are working. I know in UAE, lot of activities, and UAE government is lot of pushing for the artificial intelligence activities, and they have more programs are coming up for the investment to the technologies of the artificial intelligence. So that also we can think in the other view that how we can bring this next generation artificial intelligence into the net zero cold rooms, where intelligence in the logistic and shipping has become a major focus within supply chain management in the recent year, as a faster and more accurate shipping reduces the lead time and the transportation expenses. So both the things are required that it should be maintain the accurate shipping as well as the transportation cost should be within the limit, so that this cost will not be transferred to the customer. And the application of artificial intelligence into the supply chain related to task force a higher potential for the boosting the top line and the bottom line values. So for the instance, with the volume of the data growing and the insight of the can be generated becoming a increasingly variable, and the very important part that if you see the company like Godam Wale, you can see the Godam Wale company who are actually using a very fantastic way of using artificial intelligence and using of the most of the technologies what we have discussed. I have discussed so far. Now, talking about the second thing is that when you talk about the transportation of the cold storage, there are various new technologies are available in terms of the refrigerator vehicle, where you have to install the compressor on board on the vehicle, and lot of diesel is wasted. So there are the new technologies are already in place where we can have a small truck or the small vehicle where we can have the thermal storage technology. These technologies are thermal storage are the basically PCM material, a phase change material which can be used for the either cooling or heating purpose. These are the specific chemical material which can be active material or the passive material, which we can put across the vehicle where there is no need of any compressor. Any vehicle can be converted with the PCM material and utilized for the transportation, and can be designed as per our distance requirement. Suppose I want to transfer from one city to another city, and that kilometer and distance I know. So within that transport, whatever the time required for transportation, I can design the thermal storage in the vehicle without any compressor, or any vehicle can be converted with this thermal plate, which can sustain the cooling from start to end till it reaches to the destination. So these are the some examples. We have already done this with help of the thermal storage. It may be active or passive, where you can easily build with a very low cost and very it's possible for any type of farm, any type of farmer who are ready to do that. So it is a very easy technologies and very affordable and very reliable, where it can be converted by using the thermal plate. So you can see in the picture that this is a very small vehicle and it's converted by using the thermal storage into the cold storage, which can be transported from one place to another place. The second place, when you talk about a dehydration plant and big vegetable plant and the capacity up to 20,000 or 30,000 metric ton per day. So these are the huge capacities, and sometimes it is very difficult for farmers, poor farmers, to reach up to that level. So we are also working on the technologies where by using the PCM material, we can convert the PCM material as a dryer. And you can see in the picture that the drying of the particular process can be done by using the PCM material. So there is a complete solar plate and the PCM material which is connected on the top of the aluminum plate, and it is connected through the copper pipe, so that the heat can be thermal heat can be transported to PCM, and the PCM can sustain the heating. And this is of course will be a 24/7 heating can be done with a sustained temperature with the efficiency of more than 60%. So these are the technologies actually we can adapt with the various things. You can see the picture of this PCM, the 24/7 constant temperature PCM material, which is used for the various commodities to dry heat all the commodities. So these are the new technologies we have to also think about while we're thinking about the food park, and the perishable food processing during the transportation and during drying of the small quantities. And basically, I am very thankful for Invest India for giving this type of presentations or the opportunities where we can come up with the various technologies to the people, so that they can understand there are some other ways also. By doing the existing ways, we can do the lot of things into that. So as far as the transportation is concerned, our company can also are working on the thermal and solar in combination, where we can use the complete 100% solar ferry, which can be used for the transportation from the one place to another. So that will be, the electrical vehicle is nowadays is very common, and the engines and the motors are electrical motors are available in the market with a very affordable cost, and the cost of the solar panel is also reduced a lot. So we can utilize this same motor which is used in the electrical vehicle into the ferries, and that can be converted into the solarized form, where the BLDC motor can be easily operated by the solar, and you can design the complete ferry which will be sustainable. And in case of cold storage also, you can utilize the solar power as well as thermal power, so we can avoid the use of batteries. The battery is generally environmental not friendly things, so we can avoid the use of batteries, and we can reduce the complete use of battery by using thermal storage. So we have designed this cold storage, and we have got awarded this year for this innovation. So our company is already ready to work with the various partners and collaboration with the various companies to bring these new technologies, and investors, those are actually ready to invest into the such of technologies where we can think out of the box thinking, where you can utilize such new technologies into the net zero farming, so that we can have the more efficient and more reliable uh, solutions available in terms of the food security. So with this scenario, we are also our company is working with the CWW, UNEP, Cold Chain Federation of UK. We are also working with the Australian government. We are working with the Selco Foundation. So this idea of working with the various collaborative institution is that we will have the exchange of thought and exchange of technology between us, and we can implement the various technologies which are already adopted in the Europe or other part of the world, that we can think of bringing these technologies into Asia Pacific region or our part of the world, and make it more reliable, more sustainable, and sustainable farming. So at last, I can tell that the takeaway of this session is will be that coastline development is an integral part of the growing economy, and it is a linkage effect. And what we need to is long-term policies and strategies, an action plan for the private and public sectors, commercial financing, as well as the low interest rate and subsidies to encourage the local and international cold chain investment. Greater education about the food handling, cold storage technologies, and post-harvest activities in order to increase the efficiency of the logistic process throughout the food supply chain. This is the most important thing of that. And I think if you do these new technologies and bring this collaborative way of working and invest into such companies who are actually eager to do something great into this field, I think this will be great for us to win-win situation for both the countries. Thank you very much for my presentation. I am really thankful for Invest in India for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sheikh. I think as food processing gets more and more traction, companies such as yours, which are working in the field of cold chain management, coming up with interesting technologies to revolutionize this industry, will be more and more appreciated. Thank you so much for that presentation. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the last speaker of the session. I'd like to invite Mr. Sudhakar Gupta, Director, International Business Development at IFCO Alana. Over to you, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Mitali, so much. And I'd like to thank I also like to thank Invest India to be able to allow me to share my thoughts. But I must also congratulate the last speaker as well, Mr. Anwar, that his ideas of making cold chain technology is certainly very great, and which I've been thinking and hoping that India could develop one day to save to be able to save the agricultural products which are lost in picking of the products. So I think I'm really grateful and thankful to Mr. Anwar to share what he has done, and also to other speakers as well. Now, as far as we are concerned as an organization, we have been one of the largest agri-business house out of India since many years, and certainly using India as a base and exporting our core commodities, as well as we are more into the buffalo business as well, while we do mango, coffee, and also we do spices. But hearing what I heard today from various food parks coming up in India and the ability of food parks to invest and encourage people like us or maybe more organizations to go back to India and manufacture, and that is certainly very impressive. Now, we as an organization have been certainly managing a cold chain in India, and we have been certainly delivering our products in India, across India, using our own cold chain. And we are hoping to invest more in Indian manufacturing arms so that we can bring our international quality products, which we have produced across the world, across the region, into India for Indian consumers. Now, looking at the subject of food security and also what UAE-India is trying to achieve, one of the recommendations which I have for the panelists and for the government, as well as for food parks, is the challenge in three areas. One is challenge we need to address together is about the import duty structure of materials. If India has to become competitive and being able to be a food security partner for UAE, then India will have to embrace the similar policies of import of raw materials which UAE government embraces today, to allow them to import duty free, so that the value can be added and consumer can get benefit out of that, out of the end product which are being sold. So that is, I think, would be one of the critical aspect if India has to play a role in offering food security for UAE as a country. I think second challenge which we face and which we believe all international manufacturing arms face is about the labeling regulations in India. They are certainly not aligned with the UAE regulations today. And if we are to manufacture something in India, and India has to be the security partner for food security, then India will have to encourage to follow codex and try to find ways that the labeling regulations are in line with international standards. Hence, again, making the food parks and making everyone competitive to be able to not only offer Indian consumers with great products, but also to be able to export Indian technology, Indian products to the rest of the world. And finally, I think what is also important is, while we look at these two aspects, my great colleague, which I heard a lot from Mr. Manoj Sharma from Madhya Pradesh, I was very happy to hear that they're doing a lot of food processing already, and they're doing a lot of agri processing, and they have put up a lot of great investment in milling, especially for Sharbatli wheat, and especially looking at what they're exporting to other countries. I think these capabilities certainly help. And as more and more food parks will come into Indian context, it'll be very useful that these food parks also create some sort of a common ground of in terms of offering similar capabilities or at least similar rules and regulations, which can then allow anyone to invest in any park and thus take advantage of the Indian landscape. So we as a group are committed. We are an agri-business group. We have today 23 facilities in UAE. We have more than 40 operations and we export to 100 countries from UAE today. And we are very shy people, of course, but our brands will be known to most people on the panel. Will be London Dairy Ice Cream, which is sold in India. We have Tiffany Biscuits. We have Noor Oil, Al Khazna products, and poultry. So definitely more and more I hear about what Indian food parks have done. We are really committed to invest back in India and provide Indian consumers as a preference for the higher quality products than what can be produced. And then use possibility the Indian factories and facilities to export products to the neighboring countries so that we can not only offer food security, but we can also bring pride that we as Indian origin manufacturers are meeting the international quality standards. So with this submission, I would like to really thank the Consul General, Mr. Aman Puri, Dr. Aman Puri, and also Invest India to bring such forum of speakers today, which is very enlightening. And I'm really very happy to hear what is happening. And we'd be certainly like to connect with few of the speakers whom we have heard, where we see a potential for further collaboration. And so I will be in touch with those speakers and then take this sort of relationship forward in some form of business. Thank you so much, Mitali, for having me here on the panel. Of course, I was quite fortunate to be the last one so that I could hear everyone and their views. So thank you so much once again. God bless you all and your families.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. Thank you for highlighting some of the areas that India and UAE can work together to further boost the food drive. Thank you so much. And you've also summarized the session so well, making my job a bit easier. Thank you.
God
With
bless
that,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank all the panelists for joining us and for sharing their valuable insights on different areas such as food park, opportunities relevant to countries, etc. with us. And I thank the audience for being such patient listeners and staying with us the past 2 hours. The next session as part of the India UAE Food Security Summit begins in half an hour on Agri-Tech. We hope to see you there. With that, I conclude the session and wish you a safe and healthy time. Thank you so much. Wish you a pleasant evening ahead.